Have you ever seen how a child runs for the rain the minute a child sees the rain? No matter how the parent keeps telling them, don't go in the rain, you will get wet. Put on your raincoat, take the umbrella. A child doesn't care. The reason they don't care, they go for the rain. That's exactly what they want to enjoy. They want to feel the water. They want to get wet. And there is no other way you can enjoy the rain till you step out in the rain and get wet. But this child, when grows up, turns out to be a careful adventurer. Now, can you tell me why? Early on, the child was discouraged from taking the risk, from telling, no, go out in the rain, you will get wet. That mindset seeps in. Going forward, when this child becomes an adult, he is always scared of stepping out, taking the lead, because that's what was fed into early on. In order to create the next generation entrepreneurs, the risk takers, it has to start early on in the life. If a thing goes wrong, it is okay. That is how the child will figure out how to make it better. Not how not to make mistakes, but how to make sure the mistake doesn't get repeated, because there is no way the mistakes are not going to happen. That is life. This attitude is what creates an entrepreneur. You fail if you don't try. If you try and you fail, yes, you will have a few articles saying you have failed at something. But if you look at the history of American entrepreneurs, one thing I do know about them, an awful lot of them have tried and failed in the past and gone on to great things. This is my favorite quote from the life of today's entrepreneur, and I'm going to share his story on this episode today. Hello everyone, welcome to Invincible Passion Talk Show. This is your host Jaya MK. And as I was saying earlier, risk-taking is the number one skill that an entrepreneur has, and that sets apart early on and is easily spotted in a child, and one can easily say that yes, we have here someone who is going to do a great job tomorrow. So this story today, I'm sharing about this entrepreneur who was born on July 18, 1950. Early on in his life, he noticed few things in his life, and at the age of 16, he quit school. He quit school to start his own magazine, and that he called Student. And he started the magazine to voice concerns of the activists. That magazine, at that age, he was able to bring on some great interviews of the big names, but wasn't doing quite well. And in need for the cash, he came up for the idea of running ads and mail order record retailer. That idea made a huge success, and soon he started a mail order record store, and he called it Virgin. That label was later able to bring on the number one chartbuster of Britain called Tubular Bells, and that set apart this entrepreneur and helped him get on to the journey of amazing success. But again, the journey wasn't easy. And in fact, this entrepreneur always believed that if you don't like how things are done, and the reason I get into the venture is exactly, if you don't like how things are done, then get into and do it the way you want. And he himself gets involved with the details and makes sure it takes off. This is the story of Sir Richard Branson, who was given the title of Knight in 1999. This amazing story of Sir Richard Branson speaks volumes about someone who is not afraid to take on the challenges of life. And in fact, he thrives on challenges. I would call him a true adventurer in every sense of the entrepreneurial word and the world out there. He was never afraid, never scared to step on to the unknown boundaries. So when he started that Virgin mail order record label, that wasn't quite instantly a hit, but it went through its rough tide too, until he hit the chartbusters with the Tubular Bells with his artist Mike Oldfield. And believe it not, and today he doesn't have a centralized headquarters and he prefers to operate out of his home in West London. Even though he doesn't operate a computer, he keeps his appointments in a paper diary. Such a simple way of running mega million-dollar companies around the globe. This is an amazing entrepreneur with a diverse interest, from starting a magazine called Student, later on turning it into a Virgin mail order record retailer. Nothing wasn't easy, nothing was handed to him. He didn't have a cushion to fall back, but he had one cushion he knew he can always fall back, and that was his drive, his passion. Believe it or not, that's exactly how an entrepreneur is always able to set himself apart from his competitors. Talking about competitors, from moving to the student magazine to the record label and later on signing on the big names including Rolling Stones, it wasn't easy. He then went ahead to start Virgin Atlantic Airlines, and the competition was big that time and many advised him not to go. But again, he knew if you don't like something, go ahead and do it the way you want. But having those big names out there, the journey wasn't easy. So when he started the Virgin Atlantic Airlines, he brought his innovative ideas, from the free massages to the big screens, but soon realized with the rising fuel prices and the way the economy was performing, the company might not survive long. He was in need for cash. And to help that company with the Virgin Atlantic, he was forced by his bankers to sell his Virgin record label. That was the time he realized. And he promised himself not to let the bank lenders control him ever. And that was the time he came up with his novice idea, the amazing idea of branded venture capital. Now, what was that idea? How did it turn around the tables and helped him expand into many more industries and turn that Virgin brand into 200 more companies? How was he able to do that? So his idea for branded venture capital was amazing. In fact, a great strategy. It was all about managing the business and supplies with his brand Virgin name, and in exchange for a controlling his interest with his partners. And as a result, he was able to create the Virgin brand and bring in his innovative style of creating the service and the industry, and that helped him to expand to these 200 different companies, including Virgin Entertainment, radio studios, hotels, clubs, into publishing and into the Virgin Megastore chain, and eventually into the high-speed European railway Eurostar. This is something wasn't easy and might sound as a roller coaster journey, but that is what is true of every entrepreneur. Every time they come up with a new idea, the world isn't responsive to that. But they know within themselves that what is that exactly they want to do. In fact, Sir Richard Branson says, I don't go into ventures to make a fortune. I do it because I am not satisfied with the way others are doing business. Such a great idea, and this is what exactly it should be when you follow your dreams. This risk-taking ability helps that child to go and enjoy the rain. Don't worry about getting wet. The same risk-taking ability in an entrepreneur helps the entrepreneur to go create and don't worry about failing. When you fail not because you cannot win, but more often than not, you are scared. What if you may actually win? That fear holds back many. But those who step out of that fear are able to achieve amazing results in their life. But again, if you are an entrepreneur, even though you are following your dreams, your journey is going to be tough. Nobody ever said it's going to be easy. But as long as you are clear, what are you going to start? What is your vision? You have the clarity. And as long as you are up for it, you're ready to embrace those failures. You take on those new challenges. And in fact, you should always look out for your dream team. That is when you will be able to delegate and move on to a new, bigger challenge. If you are going to micromanage, things will get hard. You got to find people who are smarter than you and let them run the show. But in the end, let them know who is the big boss in the house. Now moving on to my round here, Numbers on Fire, where I would like to share Sir Richard Branson's date of birth. He is born on July 18th, 1950. Now his name, Richard Branson, name adds to number 7. Virgin brand adds to number 9. Now if you notice, he is born on July 18th. Number 18, if you add, comes to 9. Now his Virgin brand is in alignment with his lucky day number. And he started Virgin in 1969. That year, if you add, comes to number 7. His name also adds to number 7. Oftentimes, I have been saying on this platform, if your name number is in alignment with your lucky numbers, be it your business, your product, or anything you're doing in life, if you follow a few of these basic rules, it gets a lot easier. Now, how do you know what exactly the name number means? Like in this case, Richard Branson's name adds to 7. Now, what does name number 7 speak about? So today I'm going to share what the different name numbers mean. Now, I'm going to start with name number 1. If your name number adds to 1, for example, Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, their name adds to 1. So the number 1 is ruled by planet Sun. And if your name number adds to 1, that is the perfect number for a businessman or someone in the service industry. No wonder Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg have the perfect number. Then comes to name number 2. Name number 2, if your name adds to number 2, then this number would thrive into the creative field. This personality is a peace-loving personality. And as I said, into the creative field could be into the media, television, writing, or public speaking. And I am not surprised that Oprah Winfrey's name number adds to 2. And the way Oprah commands the microphone and on the side of the platform, you can very well say how perfectly the name number 2 fits here. Name number 3. If your name adds to number 3, then one thing I would say, this number is ruled by destiny and a great backing. This is great for business. This is great whatever the number wants to, as long as it eventually goes out to help support the community. The social bird, I would call. Name number 4. If you have name number 4, I would highly recommend to change that. This number should be completely, strictly avoided as the name number, as this number is someone who gets lost in life and often has to start all over again, and not once, not twice, much more and many more times. The success seems very hard. Now comes name number 5. If your name adds to 5, then this number makes you multi-talented, a traveler. People with this number are often either businessmen or into the sports area. Name number 6. Name number 6 is great for people in the entertainment industry, be it the journalism, acting, producing, directing. And this number will bring great success. And you would see in the entertainment industry, often this number rules, into the movie making industry especially. Now moving on to name number 7. As I said, Sir Richard Branson's name number adds to 7. This is a highly spiritual number. And this number takes time to pick up. But if this number makes it, then it will stay at the top, be it the business or the career, profession or service industry, whatever you call it. This name number makes a person very down to earth, and they do what they please. They have their own rule book. Name number 8. Lot of people often have seen with this name number 8, but this name number does not suit everyone. In fact, I call it a risky number. It could go either way and could give you extreme results. Now, Facebook adds to name number 8. It takes a lot of time for this number to pick up, but if this number picks up, it will stay there forever. It's very hard to bring that name number down. But again, it could go either way and it gives extreme results. And if it gets into any legal battles, then it loses it all. Comes now name number 9. Now name number 9, I would call it gives a lot of energy, fire. This number would benefit highly all the big chefs and someone who is into the industry where the fire rules. And which other industry other than the culinary arts? And all the chefs around mostly have the backing of this name number 9. Now here I would like to share a few more things. If the name number you have is not having either 1, 3, 5 and 6, then I would ask you to find out which is the next lucky number associated with your date of birth. But there are few dates which we cannot change, but we can bring the name numbers always in alignment, and these dates are your actual date of birth. And where numerology can help is by finding out if those numbers are right for you, if those numbers are lucky for you. If they are, then make sure your name number is in harmony with those numbers. But if those date of birth numbers are not quite so lucky, then find out the next series of lucky numbers and start using them. And as I say, numbers don't lie. Numbers never lie. Be it your bank balance, your social security number, your phone number, your house number. It will always speak the truth. And even if it's your date of birth. So next time if anyone asks you what's your number, it's about your lucky numbers, your day number and your power number. And then next comes your name number. In order for that to be in alignment, there are few rules, and I would never advise you to do it yourself. You should consult a professional. And moving forward on today's show, before we discuss, every week I bring here the stories of the amazing entrepreneurial journey of the entrepreneurs who went through rough time in their life. They met with struggles. Success did not follow them. And often they were not chasing success or money. They just went for creating a solution when they saw a problem in the community. That is one strength, one characteristic that separates them and helps them achieve the phenomenal success. Everyone has been given a gift, an amazing gift, and that gift is your passion. And it is your passion that can help you find out where you belong. Before you start on to your journey, you need to have the clarity of your destination. You need to have the clarity of your vision. What is your goal? What is your legacy? If you are listening to me on this episode for the very first time, welcome and thanks for listening to this show. But this show is all about you. I would like you to share your concerns, post your comments, or if you have any questions. But this is all about you. And every week, that's exactly what we are trying to do here, to bring your passion out, provide you your clarity, and share my insights and takeaways on how these entrepreneurs who were able to create a complete different story of their life, it wasn't easy for them either. But they kept on going. And their story is a huge inspiration. But the idea here is so that you can transform your life, you can bring out your own passion and help someone transform their lives too. Thanks for listening to this episode. Next week, I will be bringing up a wrap-up round where I will go over how till now what we have shared about numbers, how it comes together, and be it on different dates or days. how it comes together when it is your date of birth, and how it rules all those who have made to the Forbes or the fortune, and how these numbers, I believe, have been a big supporters of their success. Thanks for listening.